Okay, this is all brand new to me, guys, so I have no idea exactly what I'm doing. But if you've been following me at all, you know that back in December, on the 2nd of December, um, I was thrown to the ground by two Guilford County sheriff deputies at the Guilford County courthouse. And I've gotten some drawback just from a few people. Most of you have been really supportive about what I'm doing, and I appreciate that a whole lot. I've gotten many good messages about going after them and suing, and of course I'm going to sue them. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about the hoops that you have to go through when you're a subject of police abuse and due to an uncontrollable officer, one that doesn't have control of their faculties in their head for some reason. Um, I've found that some police officers, right? Some, not all, but some, when they get up in the morning and they put on this thing they consider to be their power suit, they seem to think that their balls like double in size or something. I have no clue. I've never been that type of person, but for some of them, they just think that this uniform gives them the right to be your boss or something, the boss of the public, and that's not how it works. Uh, I've been watching many First Amendment videos in which police officers don't know your basic constitutional rights, and I don't understand how they cannot distinguish between trying to enforce someone's policy, which they did not swear an oath to, over the Constitution for which they swore an oath to. Okay, so it boggles my mind how they can't just walk into a place where one of these First Amendment auditors are. I am not a First Amendment auditor. Okay, I do not go to these places and put my camera in people's faces. And as a matter of fact, you all know when I went to the courthouse, no cameras were allowed in the courthouse. So I wasn't there to do that. I was there for an arbitration hearing. And so I don't understand how police seem to think all of a sudden because somebody calls them and says, I got a person here videoing my people in this public place, and it's bothering them. How all of a sudden the police officers think that's law. I mean, it just boggles my mind. I'm not a big fan of going into a post office or some other public office and just bringing out my camera to get a reaction like many of these First Amendment auditors do. And that is not to say that they aren't performing a good public service. Because the Constitution does give them the right to do that. As far as I'm aware, I'm no scholar, but it gives them the right to go into a public place, stand on a public street, and take video of police officers and public officials and people that are being paid by tax money to find out what they're doing. Just think, if we could not do that, how would we ever get if they barred cameras from every public event and public place? How would we ever get video of corruption when it's happening? They would use the laws against us, any policies against us, to accumulate videos of corruption. And these auditors going into these places may accidentally catch corruption in progress. So this, is this what they're worried about? Being caught, being corrupt, not doing their job, getting paid for something they're not doing? Is this what they're worried about? Well, if that's what they're worried about, it's a good thing. So what I'm saying is, I think that these videos by these First Amendment auditors are doing a good public service. You know, most of the time, these people overreact. They call police. They start some kind of conflict. Call the police, and if they hadn't done that, that auditor would have left in 10, 15 minutes. Didn't get any reaction. Back to their car and out of there, going to the next place where they can possibly get in a reaction. But like I was saying, I'm not all for that, but I do think they're performing a service, which is making people aware of their rights. I think a lot of people that watch these First Amendment auditors, they 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 uh, uh, they inform people about their rights. They seem to know the laws better than the police officer, and that makes us going out and do this. Like I said, I'm not a First Amendment honor. I wanted to talk to you just a little bit here about what happened to me and what I've had to go through. I was arrested on December 2nd by the Guilford County Sheriff's Department. A couple deputies, um, for unknown reasons, decided to grab and throw me to the ground when I wasn't doing anything wrong. Now, they had charged me with second-degree trespass, um, assaulting a government official, and what they stated was that I thumped him in the chest. Okay, and also resisting arrest by refusing to ID. Now, if I've learned one thing from all these videos I watch, is that a citizen, well, first of all, North Carolina is not a stop and ID state. All right. So police just can't stop me and say, give me your papers. Okay. So when I was at the courthouse, um, there are public signs out there saying no recording devices allowed, or communication devices, rather. No communication devices allowed inside the courthouse. Um, so I brought just a digital voice recorder that I had evidence on. I wanted to play for the arbitrator, but the security people there wouldn't let me in with it, and I'm running a little late. I don't want to miss my arbitration, and I did. I got a little angry, and I tossed my recorder. Okay, when I tossed it, that's when they went, oh, they lost their mind. Oh, you're not going in at all now, and they called some of the sheriff deputies there, the bailiffs, and by the time I determined I wasn't getting in, I just said heck with it. So I went and picked up my recorder, and as if any of you have watched the video, you would have seen that I went and picked up my recorder, and I removed one of those rope things, and it fell. I thought I was just going under it, but it unhooked it and it fell. But that was an accident. Um, but I picked up my recorder and I walked up to former deputy Winarski, and I was telling him this isn't a communication device, and he slaps my hand. All right, so now I have been assaulted. All right, and yes, I at that time when he slapped my hand, I used a vulgar remark at him. And I don't know too many people that wouldn't. I'm already in an agitated state. I'm going to miss my arbitration, and this officer, former officer, is exacerbating things. There's no de-escalation there. It's escalation, at its finest. So I go back, get my tray, and I got this tray with all my things in it, and I have no idea. He's telling me to get out, so I'm walking with my tray out the door, around the ropes, and he's following me and he's pushing me, and I stop and I tell him, quit touching me. I said, I'm leaving. Quit touching me, and that doesn't do anything. He's still pushing me, even as I turn around, and he's like, it's kind of weird. He's screaming, get out now, get out. I mean, he's just totally losing it. So, and you'll notice in the video where he puts his bottle down on the way out, his water bottle. And I think that's because he knew he was going to go hands on with me. Okay. So anyway, I get out the door, and when I get out the door, I'm looking again. You can see in the video where I'm looking for a place to sit down the tray so I can take my stuff out of it and put it back. I went around. I was going to turn around and put it on one of the concrete seats out there. And before I could even get to it, this Winarski dude, I'm not even going to call him officer. His name is Winarski. He says, "Give me your ID." And I says, "I don't believe I have to give you my ID unless, I've been lawfully arrested." And that's when he says, "Well, you're under arrest." And I go, "For what? Not leaving the building fast enough for you?" I mean, I was leaving. I wasn't trespassed. So at that point, he goes, "You're under arrest." And now this is where, if you watch the video really close, he goes, "You're under arrest." And he grabs me and he says, I think he says, "Turn around." I can't really remember, but I still got my tray in my hand. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with my tray? But before any of that can be decided, here comes Stephen Jenkins, Deputy Stephen Jenkins. And he grabs a hold of me at my coat. You can see in the video, he grabs a hold of my coat in the back of me. And they're like jerking me around like that. And I'm holding onto my tray. And finally, I didn't do anything, but they spin me around and throw me to the ground. I didn't do a darn thing. And they throw me to the ground. And of course, the first thing Winarski is yelling is, "Stop resisting." You know, I, I wasn't resisting anything. I got two of these guys on top of me, and the third one comes out, and I'm worried he's going to jump on top of me. So they throw me to the ground, and as everybody saw, they picked me up like a rag doll and parade me back through the courthouse into their little booking office. And I find out now, I've shown you guys the videos that I have, okay? But I find out now there were two more videos that were over the lock boxes that they did not supply me with. Now, one video that you guys saw, the sun is kind of blinding. You see sunspots on it. But the two videos over the log boxes, right where all this went down, they wouldn't have had those sunspots. They would have been nice and clear. And they did not give those to me like they were supposed to. So the whole thing, and now the whole thing comes down to where all the charges are dropped against me, and all these lieutenants and captains are saying, "Oh yeah, the use of force was justified." The use of force was justified. And I think I asked a couple of them, I go, "Well, there was no trespass, there was no assault, and the fail to ID was not illegal. So when did the use of force become justified?" Yeah, these are what the captains are telling me. All right. And Sheriff Rogers, he's telling me this too. Oh, it was justified. Now, with those kind of captains in place saying that this force is justified, even though there was no crime committed, shows there's a systemic problem there. There's a problem with these captains, with people in charge there, and with Sheriff Rogers. You know, so here, not even a month later, Winarski assaults a female twice at the courthouse while on duty. Now, I don't know the whole story there. And I went to his plea hearing the other day, and he didn't show up. Just his lawyer was in there, and I don't even know who his lawyer was, and I didn't even stay for the case since he wasn't there. But if he was there, I would have stayed. So anyway, I imagine he had his lawyer plead not guilty, or maybe they made some kind of agreement with the prosecutor already to get him off. But they'll prosecute this guy now over the assault of this female. I don't even know if they had video of it, but they had video of him assaulting me, Jenkins and Winarski assaulting me, but they won't prosecute him for assaulting me. I mean, and you guys saw the blood on my hand, and I got a scar there. You see this? That's going to be there the rest of my life to remind me of this. And this shouldn't have happened. I didn't do anything. I'm totally innocent. Yeah, I have an attitude, but I didn't get physical with anybody. There was no reason for them to do that to me. And so, yeah, I put this out there for all of you guys to see. I put it out there. And, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to follow this, I'm going to keep putting up stuff. Right now, I can't find a lawyer to represent me because I don't know, there's not enough money in it, or there's what I've been saying is that if I were black, and I'm not bashing blacks, because they do get abused a lot more than any other race, Hispanics, whites, whatever other race. But I am not black. I'm not a woman. All right. And for some reason now, the district attorney says, "Oh, there just isn't clear enough evidence that you were abused." And I'm thinking to myself, my last name is Wong, W-O-N-G, is Chinese. And, with the culture today and the atmosphere about Chinese people and China and all that taking place, I can't help to think that maybe I'm being discriminated against, because of all this stuff going on. May not be true, fine and dandy, but I just can't help, thinking if my name wasn't Wong, if it was Robbins or Clark or something like that, a white dude, people would be raising hell. If I was a black dude, they'd be raising hell for sure. If I was a woman, here you go. So now Winarski gets a free pass on assaulting me because the prosecutor, Chris Parrish, the assistant district attorney, says, "Oh, the video was blurry and it was far away, and you really can't tell what's going on there." Well, you can hear the cop yelling at me in the lobby area of the courthouse all the way out. You can hear it. You can see him pushing me. All right. Once we get outside, it only takes a few seconds for them to grab me and throw me to the ground. What could I have done to initiate that? Was I going to take off running with my tray in my hand to initiate? Oh, we got to stop him and arrest him. We got to throw him to the ground and dogpile on him. Yeah. Anyways, the assistant DA, who's Christopher Parrish, has decided that there just wasn't enough evidence there to charge him with the crime against me. I voted for the Attorney General, Ms. Crump, and I can say I regret it now. I thought she was different. I thought, that she was earnest in what she wanted to do. But to me, I believe her name's Anita Crump. Yeah, I won't be voting for her again. And I definitely won't be voting for Sheriff Rogers again. I voted for him too. Might say I brought this on myself. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't know if you who watched this video. Um, the time right now is 4:27 on Wednesday, the 12th, and I'm going to shut the live streaming down and go have dinner or something with my wife. And I'm sorry about the mess you see in here. I plan on fixing this place up and turning it into a little studio because I wanted to do some internet stuff all my life. And well, not all my life because I was born long before internet stuff came along. But anyway, I will be updating you on my lawsuit against the sheriff's department. Right now, they've asked for a 30-day extension. I've already filed my complaint, my summons, and my complaint, and most of them answered it. The only person that hasn't answered the summons yet is Winarski. Okay, so he must be hiding out or something. I don't know, but there are other ways to get him to answer a summons or not answer a summons and still find him, you know, get the court to find in my favor against him because I want him, if he's not going to get punished criminally, I want to take some of his money away or something. I want something of his, and then I'll put it on my mantle, you know. So anyway, you guys take care. I appreciate you, and um, hopefully you all tune in, and I'll fill you in on how the lawsuit is going. It'll be a little while now. You know, these lawsuits take 2 or 3 years to complete, but I'll let you know. Until next time, thumbs up. Everybody take care and always record the police. Always.